Okay, so the pilot house had some time to solidify, and I did a little update. Let me show you. I actually put the front windows on because when we had glued the two fairings, the flange parts, when we glued them together, I wanted to make sure they were solid before we put on the front windows. And the roof, I only put it on to fit it on just to make sure that it was going to fit. So like I was telling you, when we glued the pilot house together, we didn't glue it to the deck. So as you can see, we can take it completely off, and now we know it's going to fit onto the deck. So I just wanted to show you what it would look like with the deck, the top section in place. So let's remove that. So when it comes to this section now, I think what we're going to do is there's a little bit of not too much, but there's a little bit of a seam. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of putty, just a tiny bit of putty. And what that's going to do is that's going to just kind of close that seam a little bit. So for something like that, I'm going to use the Perfect Plastic Putty for the really small little areas like that. So why don't we go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit and just because I want it to be smooth. I don't want there to be anything there. And we got to be careful of that bell. So I want to make sure it's going to go up. So that looks pretty good. Let's see. I just had some extra. That's the only reason I'm doing the inside. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to give that a few minutes to dry, and then we're going to clean it off. So we had a little bit of time to dry, and I'm just going to wipe off now. That's the beauty of the Perfect Plastic Putty, is it's water soluble, and all of the little extra spillage that is over on the side, we'll be able to just get that right off. I mean, you can still sand it if you would wanted to, but the plastic is nice and smooth, so I don't want to take, we don't really have to do that. Okay, so just to give you guys an update, what ended up happening was that little piece that's molded on, let's see, that would have been the port side. That's the half that has the bell. Now what had happened was the bell was a little bit crooked, and I made the mistake of thinking that I could just kind of straighten it out, and it broke off. I don't know if you're going to be able to see how absolutely tiny that is, but I ended up gluing it back on, and I have to be really mindful of this. So when it comes to the next step, before we prime the pilot house, what we need to do is I want to open up the windows. We've got the door on either side where the steps are leading into the pilot house. On the back, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna open up that. I don't know if that's a window or not. The doors, there are portholes over here as well. That there's a room that needs to be lit up, and I'll see if we're going to do these squares, the square windows, because we have two on the starboard side. We have one on the port side, but we have one door, but two of the windows on the starboard side, and then we have the smaller portholes. So we're going to start by doing the side of the pilot house. So we're going to drill that out. We're going to open it up. There, see that's actually perfect. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side now. I'm going to center it. Look at that. Perfect. All right, so we got one porthole on this side and we have 3 on this side, and it's a much smaller. Yeah, it's a lot smaller. All right, I'm going to need a smaller drill bit. There. And on the other side, we're going to do all 3 of them. Here we are. All right. I don't want to go too crazy with the drills. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use the file. All right, let's see if we can get the flat one. All right. Alright, so that's, hopefully you can see that. And what we'll do is I'm going to trim it out a little bit with a really small knife to kind of get the even out the plastic to get right up against the square outline. So we're going to do this one next. There we are. Hopefully you can see that one. All right. Now I'm going to do the window on the door. It's a little bit smaller, so we got be a little bit more careful. All right. See how that's squared off? All right, so now I'm going to take the X-Acto and I want to do a little bit of cleaning up. There. So that looks good. We got all the windows opened up. And now we're going to do the same thing on the port side. Excuse me, the starboard side. We're going to start with the larger window. There we are. Again, hopefully you can see that. All right, so we've got the windows open on the starboard side. We've got the windows open on the port side. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and we might as well do them on the back too, just to make it all match. Let me just clean this one up a little bit. All right, so that one's squared up. So we've got the windows in the back. We got the windows on the port, including the portholes, the wheelhouse. We got the windows on the starboard. We got one porthole on the starboard. We got the wheelhouse door. I think when it comes to doing the fiber optics, I think we're gonna wait until it's painted, and then I'm gonna use a micro drill, and we're gonna put a little tiny piece of fiber optic, and we're gonna have it red for port and green for starboard. So I think we're ready right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up the openings a little bit on the windows, and we're gonna prime it. All right, so we're gonna use a little bit of the airflow brush and flow improver. We're going to be using the Vallejo primer, the black, some of the airbrush thinner, and the airbrush cleaner. All right, so what we gotta let it do now is we gotta let it fully dry. Once the primer is fully cured, then we can think about moving on. We'll paint it, then we'll detail it, and we're gonna do the same thing on these windows that we did on the hull. We're actually gonna put in window panes to help diffuse the light and make it look a little more realistic. So my friends, I thank you for watching, and until our next video, I'll talk to you guys soon.